Welcome back to the Shade Tree Garage, and today I'm going to do a unboxing on a GPS based speedometer, one they suggest you can use as a heads-up display on your windshield, and also a second unit that has more features that I used in my 55 Chevy two-door wagon. All right, let's get started with the unboxing, shall we? All right, this is a small unit, and it says HUD, heads-up display on it. And it's been sitting around for a while, obviously. This is actually the second unit I bought. The first one I actually unboxed and used and tested out the theory of a GPS-based speedometer to see how well it would work. And I was genuinely surprised that this cheap little thing from TEMU actually showed fairly accurate miles per hour. All right, so let's get this thing open. This poor box has been smashed a little bit. All right, so let's get the, now there's not a lot in here. Let's see, here's the display unit, a reasonably long cable, and this is a manual. I think I'm going to need a microscope to read the print, though. Actually, there's not much of a manual needed. Let's see. And it's in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different languages. All right, well, let's look at this unit. Let's take it out of the package first. Let's see, what kind of connector? Oh, it's an old style USB, I think. I don't know if it's an A or whatever you call it, but it's the old USB connector. All right, now here's a sticky pad if you want to mount it on your dashboard like that, which is the way I prefer it. All right, well, let's see. Let me get some power over here, and we will see what this display looks like. All right, hang on. Now, they give you a lot of cable, and that's a good thing, because a lot of times your accessory plug, we used to call it a cigarette lighter plug, will be down low on the dash or even in the console in some cases. And if that's the case, you need quite a bit of cable to reach it. And this is a very nice long cable. Oh, there it is. All right. Let me plug it back in and you'll see the digits. Let me show you again. Maybe. Come on, damn it. All right. Obviously it's not going to show any digits since we're not moving. But this is what it looks like. It's got this little visor over it to kind of, I guess, shade it a little bit. But you're supposed to be able to lay this thing flat and then read the digits off, the reflection of the digits off of the inside of your windshield. I've never done that. I just set it up on the dash and was surprised at how accurate the display was. All right, well, that's what it looks like. It's a compact little unit. Very nice and compact and simple. There's no buttons, no off, on, no batteries. Completely powered by your USB cable. I live out here in the country, and we don't have a lot of obstructions. It's not like we have skyscrapers out here. So there's not many obstructions. That's why, on my other GPS speedometer, I can get 10, 12, 15 satellites in view. Now that's going to change as you get into the city where you've got buildings and steel and concrete. But as long as you've got 3 or more, I think you're probably going to be in pretty good shape. But anyway, it's a nice little unit and it's inexpensive. TEMU sells them, and I think you could probably get them at Amazon. Now it doesn't do anything fancy, and if you want something a little more that's more graphically appealing, stay tuned for the next GPS-based speedometer. And I'll give you a demonstration of it in my 55 Chevy from just a couple days ago. All right, stay tuned. I'll be right back with more. All right, welcome to the Shade Tree Garage, and we are doing a voiceover of this video because my microphone was picking up too much engine noise. I'm sitting in front of my garage, just about to leave the house on Friday to go to the Bloomfield Depot Street Car Show, which is a small town in Nelson County, Kentucky, and they have a wonderful cruise the second Friday of every month. And last month they had over 300 cars, and this month I think we had about 130 or 40. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. And so this is the preferred GPS unit that I use for my speedometer. All right, so let's go over a little bit of it. And I'm driving down my circular driveway, about to head out on our side road, and then go out and hit the main road. All right, now first the digit on the lower part in the middle that's reading 8, 9, 10, 4. That's the speedometer in miles per hour. It can also be set for kilometers per hour if that's what you prefer. All right, now I apologize for all the flicker. I wasn't able to set I didn't have my phone set, or I couldn't take it out with the video editor. So I apologize for that. All right, now if you look at the number to the bottom right corner, 15, and there's a little red dot. Well, that's supposed to be a satellite. And right now, of course, I live out in the open and there's no obstructions, so this unit is seeing 15 different GPS satellites, and that's what it's using to come up with all of the information it's showing. All right. All right, so I'm pulling up to a line of traffic, and that we're going to go out on the main state road that serves my community. All right, while I'm waiting in traffic, let's go on. All right, in the upper right, there's a compass. Now, north is always at the top, and so you've got all the compass points and then an indicator showing which way you're facing. Now, right here, this is due west, pretty much due west. All right, and now the traffic is so heavy going south towards town, I decided to come out here and turn right, and then I'll go down the road a ways, turn around, and then come back and head south. I only need to head south from about a mile to hit the side road that takes me on into Bloomfield. All right, the speedometer. All right, you've got the compass. All right, in the middle, the 0.8. that's the number of miles driven so far, and that's to me is one of the more handy aspects of this unit. But it has lots of information you can display depending on your preference. All right, now on the top left we see three. Let's see. That is your actual compass heading in degrees, because we're headed almost due north right here on the highway, and so that's what we're seeing. And so not only do you have the compass to kind of give you a rough indication, you can also set the display on the top left to give you the actual heading that you've got. Now, of course, the big arc across the middle of this display is a speedometer. It gives you a graphical representation of how fast you're going. And so we're doing 52 here pretty easily. Now, the beauty of having something like this in your car is that if you have a tachometer, as most Tri-5s eventually do, you can pretty much gauge how fast you're going by the tach. But it's still sweet to have that 2,000 RPM is about 60 miles an hour on my GPS speedometer. All right, now the other information, this will share with you a wealth of information. Now you see underneath the 2.3, that's a little icon to show that it's giving you the miles you've driven so far. And the other little red indicator under the flickering 347, that's your compass heading. So, and other options for those blue numbers, it can show you. You can set it up to be an alarm for driving fatigue. Say you want to be reminded every 2 hours that you've been driving 2 hours straight. It's time to take a break, get out, stretch your legs, and wake up, etc. All right, another feature it has is the driving time, how long you've been driving, and then you can also set it has a digital clock that you can set for the local time. All right, it's supposed to give you acceleration time as well. I don't know how that works. Never really tried that function. All right, and it gives you, of course, your compass heading, your direction angle, and then also an interesting feature it has is longitude and latitude. You can cycle through those if you need that information. All right, and again, like I said, driving distance, that's my favorite. That's the feature I keep showing on my display all the time, is the driving distance. And another feature it has, since it's GPS based, it'll also give you altitude. Okay. Now, if I'm going to the Smoky Mountains or someplace mountainous, I probably would select altitude just to give it a try. But to me, still, the altitude, pardon me, the distance driven, to me, is the most useful feature. All right, so now we still have 15 satellites that are tracking us and just hit 50 miles an hour. And I've turned around, I'm heading south, getting ready in just a few minutes to turn onto the little country road that'll take us onto the car show. All right, now this GPS unit also, it has a nice feature. It will allow you to set the error correction. For example, if this unit is showing 57 miles an hour like it is now, and somebody's following you and they're saying, no, it's not 57, it's 52, or it's faster than that, you can go in and enter a correction factor so this GPS will read more correctly to your actual speed. That's a nice feature to be able to correct that. But I find that this unit is within a mile or two. The thing is pretty accurate, and I can't complain about that. It really does a good job, and I've enjoyed using it. You know, and now of course I know how fast 60 miles an hour is just by being accustomed to tracking my speed on my tachometer. However, you know, when you get into town and the speed limit changes, 25 miles an hour, 35 miles an hour, 45 miles an hour, it's harder to gauge how fast you're going. And now our local police are pretty forgiving, but you know, if you've ever been around a brand new officer who tends to be more Barney Fife-ish than experienced cops, you know, I don't want to wind up with a speeding ticket. So yeah, this unit is really helpful to prevent that. So I can't really complain. It's done a really good job for me. Now, looking at this unit, it's attractive and it has plenty of function, but there's other functions that you see on GPS units that are available on TEMU. Okay, and these you need to be aware of. Some of these newer units are based on not just GPS, but they also hook into your OBD system, the onboard diagnostic display, or onboard diagnostic system, and they get information from there. And you can get a lot of information if you have a more modern car that has OBD. If you don't, like my 55 Chevy does not, you can't use all the functions that one of these other displays has available. So just be aware of that, and make sure if you get a one of these displays for your car that it does everything you need to do and doesn't have the need for the OBD connection. Okay. All right. Now I have both types are available. The OBD featured displays usually are a little nicer looking because they have more information to display. So just be aware of that. Just be aware of that. All right. I've edited the video, and we're just driving into downtown Bloomfield, a little town in northeastern Nelson County, where the Depot Street Car Show is found. And we come down the hill to the stop sign right here, and then we'll make a left turn here at the stop sign, right next to the well, what's left of the old feed store. All right, now we were late getting there because my son mislaid my debit card and driver's license. So I'm taking a left turn here and just make a short little strip drive down here, and the Masonic Lodge has a selling sandwiches to our left, and then I have to wait to turn left onto Depot Street because it's traffic on the way, which isn't unusual. It's Friday about 6 o'clock in Bloomfield, and even little towns can have traffic congestion, especially when you have an event like this in Bloomfield. People are driving slow, wanting to look to see the cars. So I make the turn, and it takes me a while to get down this entire street. But you can see there's some good looking GTO on the right, a Thunderbird. I mean a GTO on the left, Thunderbird on the right. Looks like a Gasser Tri-5 55 Chevy on the right, and another Tri-5, looks like a 57 on the right, and another 57, a Corvette, all sorts of nice vehicles are out here, and so I'm just trying to get down to a parking spot. All right, guys. Well, you can see that right here where we're at. We're at 332 degrees is the heading. I've driven 15 miles since I left home, and there are 14 GPS satellites in view from where I'm at here now. All right, looks like this fella in the truck is backing up to pull into a spot, and then I'm heading all the way down this street to the little city hall, which is where I'll wind up parking. All right, guys, lots of vehicles here. It's a lot of fun, and there's no trophies, there's no entrance fee. It's just they're good folks that come from all over Central Kentucky to enjoy this event. All right, well, that's going to do it. I hope this review has been useful. And if you have a car like I have without a GPS, if you have a car like mine without a working speedometer, I think you'll find the GPS units will be a very useful addition to your classic car. All right, well, that's going to do it for this trip. Take care, and we'll be back again soon with another video from the Shade Tree Garage.